Alright, so y'all already know this show is called Life is Hard, man. I'm over here having problems with my live stream on YouTube, so what we doing now is the stream supposedly done started, but I'm recording it too, so we not stopping no more, right? Actually, let me just start over. Let me just start over. So, John 16:33 from the King James Version. Jesus, you know what? I can't even just start over because I gotta play the sponsors. I ain't even played the sponsors yet. Let's play the sponsors and then we'll figure out what we're gonna do with this stream. Battle Juice is a new energy drink. This video was sponsored by Pure Health Battle Juice. You can buy your drinks at Chillbox or Joe & Vince's Gourmet Market. Get your Battle Juice today. Drink the drinks that champions drink. Battle Juice.
Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry. Be happy.
All right. Now with that out the way, I don't know what else is gonna happen on that live stream on YouTube, so I'm gonna start over. I'm recording it. If it don't finish, then I'll upload it later. So we're gonna start over. It's been a rough one. But hey, life is hard. You just gotta keep pushing through. We coming out of John 16:33, King James Version. These things I have spoken unto you, that in me ye might have peace in the world. These things I have spoken unto you, that in me ye might have peace. In the world ye shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. Okay? Cool. The NIV. I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world. Listen, God don't ever lie. I promise y'all. We're gonna go to the next verse. Let's keep it pushing. Let's keep it moving. Yeah. So the next verse, the KJV, James 1:2. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. Okay, so James 1:12 in the NIV states, blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. Give me a second, y'all. I'm working here. I'm working here. I done got hot. I'm sweating now because I got other things going on. You just got to deal with it. Yeah, this gonna be one of them today. I see that already. Y'all know what? It don't surprise me that this stream is going like this. It really don't surprise me that this stream is going like this. You know why? Because it's life. I'm finna sit down. Normally I walk back and forth when I do my show and I be walking back and forth. Nope. I'm finna sit down and I'm finna roll up and I'm finna talk to y'all about my motherfucking life for real. I'm finna talk to y'all about my life for real. Let's go through it. Let's get into it. Number one, I don't know why my stream acting up, but we gonna say fuck that and keep it pushing, right? My whole life, I've been a decent human being. At least I worked on being a decent human being my whole life. Right? Let's get back to it. The NIV. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. Okay. Alright, y'all. So this show tonight is going to be raw and uncut, to say the least. I will be talking about where I came from, not to be bragging and not to be complaining, but just to shed some truth on who I am. Right? So let's see what kind of starter points I got before I go back and read definitions to these Bible verses. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna go back and read the definitions to the Bible verses now. I think it's a good time right now, because I've been having a rough start to this show. But God always, I definitely appreciate everybody who came in, who's still here, who rocking out, showing me love. So let me give y'all the breakdown of the King James Version and NIV, John 16:33, right? So I'm going to read the NIV again, and then I'm going to go through the breakdown so y'all will have a real true understanding. I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. Okay? So the breakdown of this is, life is not promised to be easy. Life is not promised to you to be easy. Life is not promised to me to be easy. It's not. But Jesus makes it clear that struggle, pressure, and hardship are a part of this world, right? He let us know that in the very beginning. Like, listen, there's not going to be no easy walk. And, you know, when you doing the right things, there's going to be a lot of people against you because you're doing the right things. When you got a good heart, there's going to be a lot of people trying to swindle you, trying to get over on you because you got a good heart. When you're a kind person, a lot of people going to try to take your kindness for a weakness because you're a kind person. All these things are true. Jesus told us. Let's continue, right? But the key isn't avoiding hardship. It is where you place your peace. Okay? He also told us that. He gives us peace. So if we put our peace in Jesus Christ, if we focus on Jesus Christ and all he's been through and all he's given us to make it through the things that we're going through, we can find peace in all that we go through. Let me continue. When life hits hard, faith is what keeps you standing. And a lot of y'all I hope a lot of y'all got strong faith, because my faith be out the roof. Like, through some of the things that I done been through, I say it all the time, a lot of people wouldn't have been able to live the life that I lived, and we finna talk about it. We gonna talk about it today. A lot of people wouldn't have been able to live the life that I lived. A lot of people wouldn't have been able to still been standing right now and being okay with having to deal with the things that I've dealt with in my life. And a lot of people wouldn't be as humble as I am, and a lot of people wouldn't be as, at peace. A lot of people wouldn't be as at peace with what's going on in life right now if they were me. And I thank God for that. Every day I'm so grateful that God got his hands on me. So, let's continue. The world will test you, shape you, and sometimes try and break you. But God reminds us that hard seasons don't mean you're failing. They mean you are being forged. And if any of y'all, watch old medieval movies or played any of the games like God of War or anything like that, y'all know what it means to be forged. Blacksmith forging swords. They used to put together swords and axes and hammers and all types of weapons were forged. So when you going through rough times, when life seems like it's a little hard, don't take it as, oh man, God don't love me and this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 blah. Because that's not what it is at all. God does love you, but he needs you to get to a place where you can love even you going through what you're going through, where you can still be able to love others even going through what you're going through. He needs you to get to a place where your circumstances and your situation doesn't determine the type of person that you are going to be. God definitely loves you, but he also told you that the world is not going to be easy. This is not going to be a simple thing. There are going to be trials. There are going to be tribulations. And through these things, I will forge you. I will make you the weapon you are supposed to become. I will turn you into the person you are supposed to be. So we can't let our hard times make us feel like life is over. Don't nobody care about us. We can't let our hard times make us feel like, oh man, well, what am I gonna do now? What am I gonna do next? Because we know that we making it so far, and all we gotta do is keep going and keep working on doing better. As long as you keep going and you keep working on doing better, and you know God is with you, you got your faith, you can stand in your faith to know that life will not stay the same. It can't stay the same, because guess what? Our God don't lie. God don't lie. His word ain't never came back null or void. Let me tell y'all that. So, let's continue. Let me continue. Because sometimes y'all be letting y'all faith wither. And again, faith is a big part of being strong in the word and being strong in the Lord. So let's continue, right? But the key isn't avoiding hardship. It is where you place your peace. When life hits hard, faith is what keeps you standing. The world will test you, shape you, and sometimes try and break you. But God reminds us that hard seasons don't mean you're failing. They mean you are being forged. They mean you're being made to become the person you're supposed to be. Don't never run from that. I appreciate you, Doug. I definitely appreciate you. All right, so let's get to the breakdown of the James verse, right? Trust me, I really be going through some things in life, so God had to show me all the time so I can stop being in a place where I can stop being angry, where I don't be lashing out at other people around me and things like that. Y'all know I don't lie to y'all. I always tell y'all the truth, man. I don't have no reason to lie to y'all. I keep it a buck with y'all on purpose. So, yeah, I had to stand the word just as much as I be telling y'all to get in the word. So don't be mad at me because I be telling y'all to get in. I tell y'all that so you can find peace. You find peace in the word for sure. So, let's finish. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. Right? So to be honest, this verse tells us that what we do now in our life already shows endurance is the proof. Y'all with me? Come on, we gonna rock out. As long as y'all with me, right? Hard times are not punishment. They're the test, and passing the test isn't about perfection. We can stop there. We're going to stop there for a minute. We're going to jump back into it in 1 second. A lot of y'all be thinking because everything not going perfect or everything ain't working exactly the way you think it should work. Hint, hint, my live been cut off on me a few times. I'm recording it now. Guess what? It cut off or not, it's still going to get to where it need to get to. So, listen. Life not going to always go perfect, but God always, and we got to remember that. So I told you this live really gonna be about me. I'm finna jump off of the stories about me. That's why I'm reading the breakdowns of these verses before I get off into my life, because I really wanted y'all to understand, like, I really be in this book for a reason. I got a strong reason to be in this book. So with that being said, let's get back to the breakdown of this verse, right? All right. So passing the test is not about perfection. It's about not quitting and pushing through, right? A lot of y'all, like, that's where I was at with it. A lot of y'all think because things are not perfect that it's not working. That's exactly the opposite. Y'all gotta remember, a lot of rich people, or a lot of successful people, a lot of people who made it, they'll tell you it's not about the fact that they successful. It's about the fact that they failed over and over and over again and they never gave up. Hint, hint, meaning your failures is not what's stopping you. It's not the failures that's stopping you. Is you thinking that you failed and not trying again, or trying a different method, or using a different route, a different avenue to work on it or work at something. Listen, you cannot quit. Your rough times are going to be rough because, again, God is forging us through these times. So he is building you. He is cleansing you. He's in the midst of this, he's putting inside of you all of the things that you need inside of you, and at the same time, he burning out all the things that you don't need at all. Right? So it's not a comfortable place. Life is hard. And see, when you living right, it's not going to be what you expect for it to be. And this is what I be wanting y'all to understand. Sometimes life be a little rough for us because God, like, I need you to get tough right here. I need you to toughen up. You ain't tough enough right here in this area right here. I need you to get a little tougher in this area right here. Yeah, we gonna talk about it. A lot of y'all be too sensitive. A lot of y'all be in y'all feelings about a lot of stuff. Like, the world is supposed to work a certain kind of way. The world don't work a certain kind of way for nobody. The Bible got laws, it got rules, and they got a whole blueprint in it of how you supposed to live and how the world gonna work if you live a certain kind of way. And majority of y'all are not living like the rules and the blueprint that the Bible has set out for us. Are y'all not living that way? And that is why life is even harder for y'all. You understand? And I'm gonna tell you exactly what I mean by that. Because some of y'all, like, listen, God said you either with me or you against me. And a lot of people out here that's doing real good things like that, they not really with God like that. They done already chose their side. They might get on TV and act like, oh yeah, I'm saved and I said this, that, and but off screen, when you don't see them, some of these people is the most demonic mother peoples on the planet. Do you hear me? So you can't just let the fame and the fortune, don't be mistaken. Like the real ones, we got it hard sometimes. We ain't gonna just jump into fame and fortune. That ain't how it work for us. That's not how it go. We have to go through. You done had money, you done lost money, you done had friends, you done lost friends, you done had family members, you done lost family members. We have to go through fire and really be forged to become the listen, God not finna put no weak weapon on the field. Who y'all think God is? What y'all think he about? That's definitely not the type of God that I know. See, you will get put into a situation where everything around you seems like it's going haywire and everything is going on. You supposed to be doing everything right now. It's supposed to be so dire right now. You got to be saying, listen, this is part of the storm. Everything not going to work perfect. You just do your part. And guess what? I'm going to do my part. I'm going to always do my part. We don't stop. We don't stop over here for nothing, right? All right, so the two verses together that I read y'all, John 16 and James 1 and 12, states that Jesus tells us trouble is guaranteed. And the crown comes to the ones who endures the trouble and love him as they do. Right? So, let's jump off into it, right? Let's go ahead and get off into it, because it's finna be one here. It's finna be one here, right? Alright, so let's jump off into my first bullet point that I'm gonna talk about. Growing up and realizing when I was young that life is not for the weak and you can't be soft. Cool. So when I was young, I was a kid, man, and you know, I had a rough childhood because when I was young, I seen a lot of my mother and my father's addiction because I was a kid. You know, I'm talking about, like, so yeah, I'm going back to those days. Like, some of the things that happened to me when I was a kid are some of the things that shaped me into being who I am today. Some of the things I seen my mother and my father go through as addicts as I was growing up helped me become the person that I am today. I love my mother and my father. So, growing up as a child of addicts, you tend to miss out on a lot of the, you know, the basic teachings that come from a mother and a father to a child. So growing up, I really had to learn a lot of things on my own. I didn't really have my mom and my dad to teach them to me. So with that being said, I grew up, I became a hands-on learner. I became one of them dudes who, like, I always was like fixing stuff with my hands and doing stuff with my hands and things like that. But when I was a kid, I was like 5 and I liked computers, 5 or 6. These guys funny. Let me see this. Okay, my bad. So yeah, man, this is rough. This one started a little rough, man. So I really loved computers when I was like 5 and 6. I was really like 5 or 6 years old, and I really liked computers and shit. And I had a chance to go and work with these people, my uncle and his friends at his computer company. Well, not work with him, I was 5, but my uncle was going to let me come and hang out with them up there every weekend as long as my mom had got me over there, but she never did. So I grew up thinking about that a lot. I used to be really angry with that, so that discouraged me against computers. And then I grew up and got a little older, and then I started taking this computer class for computer building and repair. Now, on my own militia, I was taking this class, and it was mandatory in this class that I didn't miss a certain amount of days. Now, mind you, when I was taking this class, I know I jumped forward a whole lot. Actually, all right, so I won't tell y'all about the class right now. So I'll just tell y'all that part in my life as a 5 or 6 year old person inspired me. So let's move forward. Move forward to when I was about 9. I was about 9, I think. I wrote my mom a letter. And, you know, it was a letter from a child. And it said what it said, and she said what she said. And I was like, whoa. So that was one of those moments where I was 9, and it was like, boom. But let's rewind and go back. I seen a lot of drug sales and drug deals and a lot of drug use when I was young. So I started seeing that stuff when I was actually paying attention to like what was going on. When I was like 7 or 8 years old. Like I had been seeing it my whole life. I just didn't know what it was. And, you know, I grew and when I started to pay attention, I started to listen. So I started to see a lot of things. So I started knowing about drugs and selling drugs and getting money off of drugs and all this stuff at a young age, and didn't even know that's what I knew, right? But we'll get to that. That's part of what led me to writing the letter when I was 9. So fast forward, one day I got into an argument with my mom when I was 13, and then her boyfriend got into a fight. God rest his soul. I ended up moving out of her house for the summer and moving in with my uncle. I was probably like 14. It was 13 or 14 or something. And I moved in with my uncle for the summer, and that's when I got to see my dad a little bit, because my dad lived around the corner, which was cool. But I think I seen him like once or twice that summer. It was only a summer, so you know. And I had a good summer over there with my cousins, and me and my cousins, we played football and cards and all type of stuff. We had a good summer. So it goes back home, and basically now this is when I'm finna shift the story from kind of sort of how I grew up into what I started doing and how I started changing. So now y'all, I told y'all I jumped ahead on purpose to tell y'all that I got into a fight with my mom's boyfriend. But before I got to a fight with my mom's boyfriend, so yeah, I was probably about 14 going on 15 when the fight happened. When I was 13, a guy came to my house and pulled a gun on my mom. And yeah, right. So I went out there and stood in front of him and was standing in front of the gun, and I was talking to him, and you know, whatever, and thank God he didn't shoot me, he didn't shoot my mom. Yeah, he was a drug dealer or whatever, and he ended up telling me, yo, little dog, I got a lot of respect for you, man, after that. Like that, right then, he said that or whatever, and he left. So behind that, I got real bitter and angry with my mom, because it was like her life was in danger for that stuff. Yet alone as a kid, you know, I wasn't really thinking about my life, but as I grew up, I realized like my life was in danger as well. But it was more so that she was putting her life in danger for that stuff. So I was really angry. So when I ended up getting into the fight with her boyfriend, it was more so because instead of him wanting her to get off of that stuff and be better, because there was a better choice, dude, from my mom that I always thought. But that's my own opinion, and we gonna keep forward because this is about me. I think that moment kind of had me bitter, and that was part of the reason why I ended up fighting with my mom's boyfriend, because I was still mad at that moment. And when the fight happened, I was the man around there. There was no other man in my head. I told you, I'm like 14 and a half years old. I was always been a big guy. So in my head, I'm the man around here. Nobody the man around here, and you better not touch me. And he ended up putting his hands on me, and I did what I did to him, and boom, ended up, fighting with my mom a little bit more that night. Like, not fighting, but physically, but, like telling her, like, she was tripping and she was cussing me out, and boom, she like, well, just go to your daddy's house and all this other shit. So I just left. Like, I'm not feeling, Yeah. And when I came back, though, I told her, I gave you all that so we can transition into who I became as a 15-year-old. So as a 15-year-old, I transitioned from going to school, getting good grades. I didn't really talk about that part. Like, my schooling, I got good grades all through school. No matter the hardships that I was facing as a kid, no matter my mom and my dad not being able to show me the attention that a normal child would need to get through school, and not having nobody to help me with homework and things like that, not having nobody to help me with situations I might have dealt with in school, like if I had a fight or whatever the case might be, had an argument with the teachers, or just anything that I ever had to deal with, whatever, like not having to deal with those things, right? I had nobody to deal with those things with me. So as I grew, 15 came, and it was extreme rebellion. I got kicked out of school, and I got kicked out of school when I was like 16. But it happened because when I turned 15, I became a drug dealer. Woohoo! I thought I was just like hot shit, right? I was one of those dudes that was standing on the block and putting in his work, and yeah, I was getting money. I ain't gonna lie, I was out there, I was getting money. Like when you come from a place where this was all I seen. I seen dudes getting money, and I seen dudes that was using drugs. So in my eyes, since I was good at math, it was only one of two equations. It was 2 + 2 = 4, or 2 - 2 = 0, which means either you gonna be the one making the money, or you gonna be the one that become the user of this shit. So at that time, I was really young, and I didn't know no better, so I chose to go down that route. I grew up around a lot of different type of people, so I seen a lot of different type of things as a child, but I'm not gonna really get off into that. Like I told y'all that I already wrote one book, a weight loss book, and I'm writing another book too. I'm going to write another book. We ain't going to talk about that. It's going to be more in-depth about my childhood and about my upbringing. But anyway, so I turned 15 and I became one of those dealers on the street or whatever. And me and my mom got into this argument one morning, and she was like, I don't care what you going to do, you getting out of my house, because she was telling me I had to go to school, right? And so in the midst of her telling me I had to go to school, I'm like, Mom, I got into it with the truancy officers yesterday, and they told me if I come to school late, that they gonna take me to jail. And of course, they were serious, because the truancy officers, a lot of people didn't know, but the truancy officers was a truancy officer / gang squad. It was one and the same, because guess where a lot of the gangs was? In the schools. So, boom. I got into it with the truancy officers like the day before that or something or whatever, and me and her get into this thing. What ended up happening is I was up all the night before, because I told y'all I was a dealer or whatever. It was what it was, and I was too tired to really get up and make it to class that day. So I was gonna stay home, because it was like, and My mom wasn't having that. She was like, no, you got to go to school. So I ended up going to school. And I got to the school, and I was late, extra late. I got there about 9:30. I was supposed to be there like 8. And truancy officers seen me, they took me to jail. Boom. So that was a lesson that I learned in life, that I have to be on point at all times. Like, I can't have no excuse that, oh, well, I was tired because I stayed up all night because I was trying to make some money, or whatever the case might be. So my first experience in jail was because I was being irresponsible. And again, when I was young, when I was a kid, I blamed it on my mom. Like, if she had never told me to go to school, she had never told, and that wasn't the case. The case was, I chose to stay up all night the night before doing something that I probably didn't have no business doing. You dig? And then I end up, and I, as a good parent, she like, yo, you got to go to school. You getting up out of here. Like, I don't know who thought you, I don't know, you don't run nothing around here. Yeah, and that's what I love about my mom. Like, even though I was a man child, my mother was scared of no men. She didn't let men move her. So I kind of got like a love-hate relationship with strong, independent women because of that. Because I love the fact that she knew how to stand her ground, and she would, she would be adamant about certain things or whatnot. But in certain cases, I used to want her to see that she was putting herself in bad situations. And my mom, she was very adamant about who she was, and I was her child, so she wasn't going to listen to me. And I'm not mad at that, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, my love-hate relationship is because of my mother with strong, independent women, but I was still out there doing stuff that I shouldn't have been doing, and I was irresponsible, and I didn't get up on time, and I didn't make it to school. So I ended up going to jail. And that was another chip on my shoulder. I was bitter and angry with my mom. So I got out of jail and ended up, it ain't like I was in jail forever. Like, I was only in jail, like I said, that was the very first time I went to jail. I went to jail twice like that when I was young. And I ain't stay in jail neither time, but both times about 10 hours, 10 to 12 hours. One time was 10 to 12 hours. The second time was overnight. She came and got me the next morning. But the point is, after I got out of jail the second time, it was up from there. Instead of me seeing that I was going down a bad road, and instead of me seeing that I was making worse and worse decisions, like I told y'all, after I got kicked out of school, I was making bad decisions. Now, let me tell y'all, I thought I was smart. I turned around and went to Job Corps, and I did pretty good in Job Corps. I ended up getting my GED in 3 months, within 3 months. I don't even think it took a whole 3 months, but ended up getting my GED within 3 months or whatever. And after that, I had a job at McDonald's, and I was working as a bouncer. So now by this time, I'm like 17, right? So I work at McDonald's, I'm a bouncer, and I'm still a dealer, right? So life is going okay for me. As a young dude, I got money, I moved to a stage where I got me a girlfriend. I skipped a lot of that because, that's going to be in the book too. Well, I got me a girlfriend, and me and her, we living with her sister, and everything is good. Life is good, right? So I think, right? With me being a young man and being ignorant to some facts of life, my mother had always told me that she wasn't the girl for me, and I just fought my mom tooth and nail because, of course, me being young, her being my first girlfriend. Now, mind y'all, she wasn't the first girl I had sex with. She was just my first girlfriend. I had smacks before, but she was my first girlfriend. And she was doing things, and like, she was really doing a lot of stuff for me that no other girl was really doing. So I rocked out with her strong. And I was fighting my mama tooth and nail over this girl, and my mama just like, listen, she not the one for you. You goofy than a motherfucker. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean, but anyway, so yeah, so and come to find out, this girl ended up not being shit, and I ended up having to move back home with my mom, and I stayed back with my mom for a while. And listen, man, life was just hard, man. When I grew up, I made a lot of bad decisions because I seen all the things around me, and out of all the things that I picked up, I was, like I said, I was smart. I was a smart child when it came to school, and I was smart when it came to certain moves that I made. I went to jail again when I was like 18 or 19 years old. I don't know, it was early. I went to jail because me and some of the homies had went out to a whatever, like a little party type of shit, and we was stealing stuff at the party or whatever, and we ended up getting caught stealing stuff at the party, and I had found somebody 38 revolver, long nose. The bitch was beautiful. It had the pearl handle, it was silver. That bitch was beautiful. So of course I put it in my pocket. I thought I was winning then. Listen, I was doing a lot of wild, crazy, dumb stuff, but we ended up getting caught at that just so happened to get caught at that particular party. And I ended up going to jail that night. That was another one of them nights where I learned. And I stayed in jail that time. That was the first time I got put on probation. So I got put on probation 3 or 4 different times or whatever. Listen, y'all, I'm telling y'all, I'm just giving y'all a little bit of my life so y'all can know, man. I ain't always been this, you know. I be in my word now because I need to be in my word now. I need to be on something positive now because I used to be on all bullshit. I really used to be on all bullshit. Like I used to be rough, man. I used to really be in the street. So like I said, I've been on probation I was on probation like 3 or 4 times. Anyway, so the first time I got out and got off probation, and I ended up, you know, I told y'all I was a dealer, so of course I went right back to the streets. Instead of working on getting me a job. Now, man, y'all, in the midst of all of this, I've had jobs. I told y'all I had a job when I started. I had a job. I was working at McDonald's and I was bouncing. So throughout all this, I started bouncing after the first time that I went to jail. That's when I started bouncing. So I got out of jail and I became a bouncer, and I stayed a bouncer for like 5 or 6 years. Met some interesting people through some interesting people out of the bars and things. And some interesting things happened to me because I was a bouncer. And I had people chase me down just out of nowhere, like not at the club, just whole different days, whole different times, and bumped into me and was like, oh yeah, you that nigga, and I done got chased down and shot at, and you know, so I done lived the life. I done been robbed. That's one of the worst feelings in the world. I had went to visit a girl. When I was young. I had went to visit a girl, and I had got off the bus to go to her crib, get to her crib, and I was like 17 right then. This was like fresh out of Job Corps. So I was like 17. And man, I was feeling good. I had so much money in my pocket that day. I went to see this little chick. I caught the bus, me and her walked up to the store at Little Caesars, and this nigga just came out of nowhere and robbed me on our way back to her crib and shit. Like, that shit was wild. I rolled around her neighborhood with me and some of my homeboys for a couple weeks looking for them niggas, but God always, and we shall move forward, right? So, anyway, thank God I ain't never really get no trouble when I was young, like when I was super young, like when I was like 15, 16, 17, 18. Like 18 is when like I say, I caught my first case when I was like going on 19. And I ain't never been to jail for no years and no shit like that. Every time I went to jail, it was like 3 months tops. Or like 2 months, Cause I ain't never, you ain't finna catch me out here fucking doing no crazy shit like a lot of y'all niggas be getting caught up. But no, so I got out of jail and I ran back to the streets because that's what I knew. Because I turned away from school and I turned away from, it was really just school. And it was like, since I didn't really have no mentors and I didn't really have nobody to look up to, it was this one dealer that I had looked up to, but he ended up going to jail for a long ass time. So after that, it was just like me in the streets. So, and then I told y'all I was a hands-on learner, so I just learned a lot of things in the streets. A lot of things in the streets, and that's why I am the way I am today. I move differently, I act differently. I don't go to and do certain things, and when I do go in certain types of areas, I come with certain types of crowds or certain types of energy, because certain things can happen if you're not prepared when you're in the street. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm different. I be alone a lot of the times. It's like I only deal with like a few people. Like I got a handful of people that I deal with for real in real life. Like, and I love my family and things like that. But everybody in my family got their own things going on. And again, we got a handful of folks that we deal with. So I really just be with the couple people that y'all hear me fucking with on a regular. When y'all hear me fucking with them the people that I fuck with on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? And I don't be putting myself in harm's way no more. Let's just say it like that. I used to do a lot of things when I was young that put me in harm's way and could have got me, and I thank God now. And I used to be a lot bigger, man. I done came through this journey, man. I done lost a lot of weight, man. And it took a long time for me to get here, but I used to drink a lot. I used to drink real heavy, and I'm talking about when I was young. That's why I'm telling y'all this. Like, y'all gotta look at me now like I don't be drinking or none of that. I know I look good. I know I keep myself up and things like that, but I used to be a menace. And I thank God that I'm not no more. I used to contribute to a lot of crazy things that go on in the world. And looking back at those things that I was contributing into, looking at the things that are happening now, I'm like, wow. Thank God I'm completely different than I used to be, because, man, if I was anything like I was back then, I would probably be out here just as bad as some of these people is out here already. Some of these people out here bad. But, so I learned a lot of discipline the hard way, because I came through the streets, I went to jail. I ended up going to JROTC like one of my last years in high school or whatever, because I did 2 years of high school. I did ninth grade and 10th grade, and I was going to the 11th grade, but I got kicked out on my way to the 11th grade. So yeah, I did JROTC. So I learned discipline. And when I was growing up, my mom and my dad and my grandma, like, they were big advocates for Jesus Christ and the Bible, and being close to the Lord and always praying. And I used to go to church with my dad and my mom when I was a kid, when I was young. And then I used to go to church with my grandma after my dad stopped, taking me so much and being around with us so much, because, again, my mama was a strong, independent woman, and ain't no real man finna deal with being talked to a certain kind of way. It just is what it is. So, yeah, so that was that, and I got a lot of God in me because of that. And the streets the discipline that I gained from the streets wasn't necessarily because I learned a lesson in the streets. No, it was more so because I seen the things that I did in the streets. I seen the things that I went through in the streets in the midst of doing those things. I seen the harm that I could have caused, and I seen the harm that could have been caused to me in the streets. So I changed. I got out the streets, man. Listen, I know they got like this little movement going on right now that's like, fuck the streets. Listen, I feel like this, and this is wholeheartedly how I feel. If you don't have to be in the streets, get your ass out of them. But if your struggle right now and your only survival is you in the streets, and until you can get out, you got to do what you listen. Work on doing the most positive thing that you got going on right now in the midst of all of that, and keep doing that, bro. I know it's hard, but I ain't even get to. Come on, let's finish. Let's finish. Right? We done talked about I done got disciplined the hard way in the streets. We talked about my school, and we talked about how I grew up, and yeah. All right, cool. So, mistakes, pressure, and survival mode. Let's talk about that. I made a lot of mistakes. I chose to sell drugs. I got kicked out of school. I went to WC3 for a while, and I didn't finish that. I took a computer class, and I didn't finish that. I made a lot of mistakes. I sold drugs for a nice little bit of my life. Thank God I ain't did that in a long time. But, you know, I did that. And that's how I was making money. So I made a lot of mistakes. But I was making those mistakes because I felt like it was a lot of pressure on me because I wanted to get my mom and my dad out the streets. So I felt like if I could make enough money that I could change our life. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't have the guidance to understand that all this drive that I got, all this willpower that I got, all this ambition that I got, all this vision and all this creative thinking that I got, I didn't have the mentorship to know that you can put this stuff somewhere else and it'll actually work for you and it'll be positive and it will take you and your family somewhere. I didn't have that around me. So I took what I learned and what I knew and I put it all into the wrong thing. And yeah, so I ain't gonna lie, I was good. It don't matter what I'm doing. If I'm doing it, I'm good at it. And I'm good at it on purpose because I'm gonna focus on what I'm doing. Like, you can't make me not focus on what I'm doing. If I'm doing something, I feel like it's important to focus on what you're doing at all times because this your thing. You know what I'm saying? You the one doing it, right? So, yeah, I work on that. I work hard at being good at the things that I do. So that's why I was good at school, and that's why I was good at computers. And I fell off with the computer shit, like, because I didn't go back to the schools. I was like young 20 in the computer school. You know what I'm saying? I was like 17 in Job Corps. Got right out of Job Corps and went right back to the streets. You know what I'm saying? I made a lot of mistakes. And the pressure was on, and I felt like I was in survival mode. I didn't have my mom and my dad to really guide me through life. You know what I'm saying? So the mistakes that I felt like I was making, I felt like I had to make them. And I did not have to make them. Let's be clear. I did not have to make them, right? But at the same time, I made them because I was thinking that it was going to help me get into a better place. You know what I'm saying? Listen, we all are who we are because we are who we are. Life is hard. It is what it is. I made some rough decisions. Survival mode, man. I'm really out here in survival mode still right now. Let's talk about it. When I was out there getting money, I was in survival mode because I had to watch out for the police. I had to watch out for people wanting to rob me. I had to watch out for my homeboys stealing from me. I had to watch out for my girl cheating on me and stealing from me and trying to set me up. So when you out there in the streets, you got to watch out for a lot of stuff. Like, you got to watch out for stuff you shouldn't have to watch out for when you out there in the streets. I'm not lying to you, and that'd be the worst thing. Like, when you in the streets, you got to watch out for people that you shouldn't have to watch out for. People that you love, people that you care about, people that might be around you because solely in your heart, all you got is genuine love for them. And in the streets, you can't have love for nobody because in the streets, everybody is snake, including you. I tell people this all the time. I don't trust myself, so of course I don't trust you. And I don't be saying that to be funny to nobody, and I don't say that, hey, how you doing, Raquel? I don't say that to be funny, and I be saying that to be honest as fuck. Like, I feel like you if you in the streets and you know some of the type of shit that you would do, then you know you can't trust you. How can you trust you when you in the streets? And you damn sure can't trust nobody next to you. Because guess what? They in the streets too. And you know some of the type of shit that they'll do. Now, let me put this out there. When I was in the streets, I was loyal to the people that I fucked with. Like, if this was my crew, like, if this was my connect, this was my plug, I was loyal to my plugs, I was loyal to my connects and shit like that. And we didn't have problems. We didn't go to jail for shit like that. Now, there are times where I went to jail for selling drugs, but it didn't have nothing to do with me and my plug and being set up and none of that type shit. It was just unfortunate circumstances. But listen, life is hard, but you can live through the trials and the tribulations. You can turn your life around. I used to be fat as fuck. I used to be down there 500 pounds. Y'all know I'm like under 300 pounds now? Like, a person can't tell me shit. I was more miserable when I was out there selling drugs and getting money and eating whatever I wanted and driving the cars, and I was more miserable then because I was constantly looking over my shoulder, constantly going to jail for bullshit, constantly having to fight with chicks over bullshit, constantly having to watch people around me from trying to steal what the fuck I had. Like, that shit is stressful. That shit is sending you to the hospital all in itself. You hear me? Like, being in the streets is stressful than a motherfucker. Like, cause sometimes you can trust your homeboys and sometimes you can't. It just is what it is. I'm being honest with y'all. Like, this is what goes on in the street. Sometimes you can trust a nigga in the street, sometimes you can't. And if it's your homeboy you grew up with, all you could do is pray that this nigga not trying to wait till we hit a big lick and he don't stab me in the back. Like, see, y'all didn't think I was finna, I told y'all I was finna I'm finna talk to y'all a little bit about me. That's why I got trust issues. I done been stole from a lot by people that I care about. You know what I'm saying? I done been down a lot of roads with a lot of people that I care about. But I can say it's partially my fault because of the decisions and the choices that I was making when I was growing up. Like, I should have been making better decisions and better choices, and I shouldn't have been dealing with certain types of people. I should have been dealing with different types of people. But me, being hard-headed and being rebellious at times, and also being smart, because I thought I was extra smart. Like, no, you ain't gonna tell me. I'm looking at niggas make all this money and this, that, and that, blah, blah, blah. Was dumb as hell. Like, I was, like, I'm telling you, man. Come on, we gonna move forward. Where we at? The moment I realized nobody was coming to save me. Alright, so the moment I realized nobody was coming to save me, my mama had went on vacation. For anybody who been in the streets or who in the streets, y'all know what I mean. My mama had went on vacation. Anybody who ain't been in the streets, hit me in the DM and we can talk about, or hit the comments and we can talk about it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. My mom had went on vacation and I was going through a rough little patch right then. And life had got hard, like extra hard for me and my girlfriend. And nobody would help us, bro. Like, literally nobody would help us. And that's when I realized, that was the moment that I realized, like, ain't nobody coming to your rescue. Nobody's gonna save you from your own demise. You have to save yourself. You have to start making better decisions. If you don't start making better decisions, then, you know, it's you know what I'm saying? You have to save yourself. If you don't save yourself and start making better decisions and start doing better things with your life, then better will never happen for you in your life. So yeah, my mom went on vacation and I had to start making better decisions, and when I had to start making better decisions, I started moving different with women too. That was part of the time. That was part of the moment where I had realized like you have to move differently with a lot of women. But that's because I had so many different encounters at that time with women that I was learning bits and pieces from all the women that I had dealt with. And when my mom went away, I kind of sort of stopped dealing with a lot of people immediately because I didn't trust nobody no more. When she went on vacation, it was like, oh, hell no. Fuck to the no. So I kind of bagged up, and it was just me and my girlfriend and, my family. You know what I'm saying? My family. But wasn't nobody really fucking with me like that, so I was a dealer. So motherfuckers was like, shit, we don't know what's gonna happen. You nigga might go to jail over there, like, cause that's what happened in the life of a dealer. You never know when they come to kick the door in, whatever. So life was just hard, man. It was like that's when you realize like you gotta stand up or sit the fuck down. You gotta go all in or get the fuck on. You know what I'm saying? So I chose to just I transitioned from doing things a certain kind of way to doing things a different kind of way. And then once my mom came back from vacation, that's when I completely transitioned from being in the streets to then I started working. I started working, driving for Uber, and then I drove for a couple of medical transportation companies and things like that. Like, I was choosing to do better for me. And the chick who I was with, she didn't want to do better. So I ended up having to cut her off. Like, because she didn't want to do better. And you can't be with nobody that don't want to do better. They only going to pull you back down. So I had to let her go. And in the midst of letting her go, life goes on, right? So it be things like that. That, like I say, that's when I was starting my transition from, went completely from the streets back to being a regular person, or at least working on being a regular person type shit, whatever the case. Yeah, that's kind of sort of how I found out when nobody come to save me. My mom went on vacation, and when she came back from vacation, I was just a whole different person. How hardship shaped me into a man and not a victim. I could be the type of person that's just always out here begging and asking somebody to do something for me. I could be the type of person that's whining like I had an unfair upbringing. I could be the type of person who wasn't live right now working on getting some gifts and some supporters and subscribers. And I could be the type of person that wasn't doing anything. But to be honest, I've never been that type of person. Like, I've always worked hard at working on finding a way. Because I'm an entrepreneur, as y'all know. Y'all should know I was in the streets my whole life. So as an entrepreneur, I'm going to always work hard at figuring a way to make some money as an entrepreneur. And since I'm a positive person, now I done went legit. Now all I do is work on ways to make money the legit way. That's why I'm live now. So I appreciate if I can get some heart me's up there, some daily heart me's, some of y'all to tap the screen, send a bean, whatever. I appreciate all the support. But yeah, so I transitioned from making a lot of money all the time because I was in the streets to making no money none of the time, and well, until I get monetized, right? And yeah, like it's just a different type of thing. Like, life can be hard, right? But like I said, I was more stressed out then when I was making all the money and I had the money and I could do what I wanted than I am now. Like, the little things that I be thinking about right now, like, yeah, I got a little bit of stress here and there, but I pray so much now that those little things, they don't even, like, they come and go. Like, they be little spur moments in time, because it's like I'm so in tune with God. It's like that it probably shouldn't have bothered me in the first place. That's what I'm coming to realize a lot now. God be like, yo, a lot of the things that you used to let bother you, which is true, a lot of the things I used to let bother me, I don't let bother me no more. It's just like I'm a much more peaceful, much more calmer person. I'm much more focused on handling a goal. I'm much more focused on um, getting things done. Like, even though I've always been the type of person to get things done, that's like who I am. I'm Mr. Get It Done. But I'm more focused on this positive outlook that I have on life now. And back then, I didn't really have a positive outlook on life. So that's how the hardship has shaped me into becoming a man and not a victim. Because it didn't, throughout all the things that I've been through, I never wanted to really lay down and give up. I always wanted to push forward and fight harder for more and for better and for my life to change for the best. You know what I'm saying? And for all the people around me's life to change for the best. So it's just part of how the hardships changed me for the better. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. I definitely appreciate everybody who came out and joined me for Smoking with the King this Friday. This was a wild Friday, January 2nd, 2026. I had to record my show. It's live on TikTok, but I had to record it for YouTube. So I'm finna have to figure out why it's not, why my live is acting up on my laptop. And then, yeah, sure. We'll get it done. We gonna get it done. This is what we do. You know what I'm saying? Smoke gang shit, right? So I appreciate all my supporters, all my subscribers, all the people who love me, all the people who rock out with me. I definitely love y'all. I definitely appreciate y'all. And I do hope to see y'all next Friday. So God bless. Good night. Smoke gang. We gone.